I saw everything about me, like hidden things that I thought I knew, but I really didn't. I'm just saying, I entered the depths of my emotions, and I mean, it was a mess.
And isn't that a time you also really rededicate your life to Christ? You could say, really, I did. There was a change with me and God at that particular time.
I did.
You met the lady who you loved, the singer. I remember her name.
Yes, her name was Becca Shea.
And she speak into your life.
She did.
So the same thing that your mom said about you, the same prayer your mom pray every day, she ended up telling you the same thing. So a lot of good things come out of Alaska. It was beautiful. You don't want to go back, of course.
Of course. Sorry, Alaskans, but I mean, if you all know me, you know I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. Well, now I can take it, but I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it at all at that moment, because it was like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be wanting to punch somebody in the face at the moment. I mean, it's not my character. I just didn't like that at all. So I had to get out of Alaska. It was just like, I couldn't live there. And I mean, like, it was just bad. But as she was saying, yes, I did find my talents. I made tea for like a summer job. There's this thing called fireweed, and what I used to do is I shucked the leaves, I rolled it, I fermented it, and when he walked into this room, it's like, ooh, sweet aroma. And I mean, never in my life have I could say, wow, I made tea. I made tea. Not like, oh, I drink tea. No, I made tea. Like I was the entrepreneur of the preneurship at that moment. Oh, yes. Great idea. So here is the tea that my grandma has just gave me at this moment, right? And this is the tea that I got. And you know, it's
that you made.
Yeah, that I made especially. And you know, it smells so good. If you could kind of see in there, it looks like that. It looks like it smells like honey. Like, I promise you, I thought I put honey in it, but you know what? The key to drinking tea is to try it without any sugar, so you could get the real taste of the tea and not just, have it just for like sweetener and stuff in a fast food drink. Ugh, don't do that. And you know, I self-taught myself to knit. First by book, but then, you know, I was like, I'm gonna make my own poetry. I did delve myself into poetry. Like, I delved myself into a lot of things. I learned how to cook, especially. I was in Alaska. Again, I took the computer underneath from the cot, and I went straight to doing it. And I was just like, I look like a coder, and I'm just typing numbers and things in there. I had a TV there. The kitchen was right there. I was in the best spot. And, you know, I was just doing it. I was just doing it with the little magic hands and stuff. And that's how my routine was. And, you know, I did have a little rendezvous going to the church and whatnot. But as I said, I didn't really get out of the house that much because, again, negative degrees. And everything is an hour away. So going to Walmart is like an hour. Going to your friend's house is 2 hours. Going to the church, that's 3 hours. I mean, it already takes me 1 hour to get dressed. Really. So I'm like, oh, wow, this is very interesting. And, you know, going to the movies. I tell you what, the hangout spot for teenagers was Barnes and Nobles. And I mean, that place was lit. It was tight. It was cozy. It had a fireplace. I was like, yes, this is the best place ever. So I think there I became more of a book nerd than I have ever been in my entire life. Yes, but that was my routine. And, you know, like I had to drink vitamin D drops, you know, just to keep my nutrients inside. And, you know, too much vitamin D, it could get you very tired because it's like too much of anything could get you feeling off and whatnot, but I had to wait for the balance. So, yeah, I did drink tea a lot, specifically a lot of black tea, but I think I drank more fireweed because, you know, it was good, and I made it, so I was like, yes. Yeah, but, you know, like, that's kind of like what I did in Alaska. Okay, we're going on to a little bit years more, and I would have to say if I went back in time And, I had to, like, if I had to choose which one was the easiest, I would have to say it's not Alaska, but it was Alaska, because Alaska prepared me for the next place I was at. And I would like to tell you, again, like with this homeschooling, like, it's easy to get behind in your schoolwork, because almost every single year, I'm traveling to a different place, because, we're not...
Different country.
Yeah, a different place, a different country. Let's just say you're in the military, and you know how this is like. Yeah, okay, we're the Army brat, but I would like to say I'm the Boeing brat, because it's like, boing, you go to the next spot. Again, while we were in Alaska, we thought we were...
you guys was in the military, so you traveled into...
Exactly, but I'm saying, no, but I was saying at that time, because he wasn't working with, he wasn't in the military.
I know, but you still have to travel.
Of course, yes, but I'm just saying, but no, I'm talking about concerning school.
Right.
Exactly. No, I'm just saying, because, like, he was a contractor job type of person. But what I was saying is that, you know how it is, when you hear an opportunity and whoever's working at that particular contracting job, gets it, and, you believe, oh, I'm moving to Hawaii, but then last minute they tell you, no, you're not. So you have all of your boxes packed and ready to go to this place. And what happens? They said, oh, yes, we're not taking you there. So we were stranded in Alaska for 6 months straight in the harsh winter period. So we went from hotel to hotel. And as I said, as the food sucks, the hotel sucks too. I mean, it was just sad. It was like, we were living in the ghetto at the times. And then, what did we do to keep warm? That is a good question. What did I eat? I ate, like, ramen. I don't even remember me eating anything. It was just terrible. It was just bad. So I was dealing with diarrhea for 6 straight months. So I was not feeling good. So, again, that's like going against, oh, you're sick. There's sick days. There's no sick days in homeschooling. I'm sorry. You still have to look at that computer and stare at it for so long. Even though your eyes hurt. Yeah. Never happens. Yeah, you have to fight through the sick days too, and the foggy days in your brain. Because remember, gray skies do affect you. They really do affect you. And that's why I said, I was adding in my procrastination list or rules or plan. Sit in a place with lots of light, natural light as much as possible, a big light as much as possible, because you need it. You need it. Convinced, well, not like convinced, but we told everybody, hey, we're moving. Like, they did a big party and stuff, and then 6 months later we told them, oh yeah, we're still here. I mean, the dread, because you told everybody, oh yes, we're moving. And then it was like, because remember, these are moody people, and because they threw a big party for us. Like, they took me on a hiking trip.
Where were you guys think you were going?
As I said, it was Hawaii.
Oh, you really going to Hawaii?
Yes, we had the boxes packed and everything. No, we were literally homeless for 6 months.
No, I didn't know you were going to Hawaii.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Like, we were literally homeless, and it was, what in the world were we doing? And I mean, like, wow, I mean, it could have been worse. And this is the first time I felt bad for homeless people, because I saw this one homeless guy with a box as his shoes in the -degree weather. So, I mean, girls, that's something to be thankful for, that you at least have a shelter. Many things to be thankful for. Gosh.
That's right.
So,
even the homeschool, there's kids who don't even have computers. All over the world, there's, oh gosh, you guys are so blessed to even have a computer, even if it's one in a house. But there's many, many people who don't have computers at all.
Exactly.
And they haven't gone to school either.
Now, again, as she was saying with the computers, because it is telling me, okay, there's different types of homeschooling. Again, because when I was in Alaska, because most of the people in Alaska are homeschooled. And they have like these little secret societies, they call it, because, they'll be speaking a language saying, oh, who do you belong to? Like, okay, with the moms, who do you belong to? Oh, I don't know. Denied. you have to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to get into the co-ops, and most of the time the co-ops are at the church, so that's very interesting. But I've heard of things called star and all of these other names and stuff, and it's not necessarily like a clique, but it's a clique to be homeschooled this particular way. So I was homeschooled, I call it the first class way, because I was on a computer. Other people, they're on books. Their mom's teaching them and stuff. They're doing it the old-fashioned way, and I was not doing it that way. I was doing it the first class way with
modern way, huh?
the modern way, yeah, with the computer. So listen, I'm just saying, like, there is the book way. Like, you have K-12 that does this little mixture all together and stuff. But I would also like to tell you that you're going to hate it when I say this part, but don't tell your mom this. You can do schoolwork on your phone, on your iPad. And the reason why I said don't tell your mom this, because you could purposefully try to forget your computer when you go on a vacation. But your iPad accesses the internet, and because of that, you access your schoolwork. So, yes, that will happen to you. Exactly. But yeah, like, not even that too, like, you could go to a library. You probably don't even need to buy a computer, but even that too, I'm just saying, like, the concept homeschooling, it doesn't just restrict to computer, the books and stuff. It's just gaining knowledge on your own. That's actually what it is. Gaining knowledge on your own at your own pace, but getting whatever, what they say, like, in the world says, like, because, in the co-op, they do have these classes, and it can go towards your points, your GED and stuff. Like, they become real classes, but, they have to keep updated with the world as what is a class and stuff.
And what about the part where we could, to motivate ourselves in the homeschool, is to also kind of look at it as a job?
Exactly.
Like this is because it's really a job.
Right.
Your job is to do school now.
Exactly.
Else you could get fired.
Exactly. And that's why I'm going to talk about the next routine.
Oh.
Okay? Because when I was in Korea, now I thought I dealt with emotional junk. No, I dealt with the bomb, I called it. Because I opened a Pandora box of worms and things, and it didn't stop. It didn't stop at all. And we were living in such a nice house, and, I'm just saying, like, I may be venting a little bit on here, but I'm saying, like, I experienced things I didn't want to experience over there. I mean, like, okay, in the beginning, it's like a horror movie. In the beginning...
But in the beginning, that was your dream to go to Korea.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was my dream to go to Korea, but I'm just saying, in the beginning, like a horror movie, suspenseful movie, is so nice. The people are so sweet. I did have friends, actually. I was part of a band. Yes, people, I'm calling it a band. And, I had a girl clique and stuff. Like, I had everything I wanted. I went to graduation parties. I was invited to things. I went to people's birthdays. I was like one of the popular kids. I knew the people who was head of this and head of that and made, oh gosh, made delicious cake. Hey, if you ever do watch this, I would like you to make my wedding cake. Okay, but it was so good. But yeah, I was involved in things. I always wanted to be involved in things, and yet they're all homeschoolers, so they all understand my pain and struggles of what I went through for years. And I met awesome people there. But when it came to a close, and I kind of think it was good timing. But when it came to a close, that is when the divorce happened. And this is when it all came toppling down and stuff, because first of all, we were supposed to move anyways back to America. But how that happened, it was interesting because first, before the divorce happened, I was taking care of 2 dogs, all right? These 2 dogs are farm dogs, and they throw up, they pee, they needed shots. I'm afraid of worms, as I said. So when they poop, I'm like running towards the wall and stuff. And they're two dogs. It was a male and a female, and I had to make sure, like, I had to keep checking up on them. Like, it was constant barking and it wouldn't stop. And as I said, bad sleep, as I said. And it was terrible. But I was constantly working. And this is in the midst of, I'm a full-time college student with my high school classes, and I'm like, well, that's a load right there. And I'm saying, I'm not exaggerating. Every single morning, this was my routine, okay? But I keep adding things onto there. But the routine is I wake up at 4 a.m. and I have to check the dog pen to make sure that I don't see diarrhea in a liquid diarrhea. Like, the guy doesn't even digest. It's liquid diarrhea. I have to wash both dogs. And then I have to walk them, make sure that they poop, they pee, make sure they're not scratching things, making sure they're not having babies, making sure everything, throw up, poop, pee, vomit, worms, disgusting things and stuff. It was like, it was terrible. And that was the part when I was like, I feel like a slave. Because I wake up and I try to tell my mom, I was like, Mom, we got to get rid of these dogs. And she's like, good for you. And I'm like, Mom, you don't even help me with the dogs. But I'm like, anyway, we got rid of them sooner or later. But it was a good reason for why I needed to get rid of them, because first of all, we have 4 flights of stairs, and the house was tall. It was like a big box, but it's so tall. Okay, and every single, we used to joke around, oh man, we need to build an elevator for this place, right? Because, when I have to run after these dogs, it's like, it's not even run, it's like tumble. Because, Korean steps, they're so tiny, like, if you make one wrong move, like, step too far, you could easily fall and break something. And I'm like, oh wow, and that has happened to me many times before. But one day, and I was hanging out with my girls and stuff, because remember, every single time I have to put my knees down to clean the pen, and it was constant work, wash the babies so many times and stuff. Like, I think the anxiety I had was like yay high, because even though like I was helping out with this church and stuff, evangelizing and stuff, I had to tell my mom, we need to come back, we need to go back home, I need to clean their pen and stuff and whatnot. I can't let them just stay there so they can make a mess and poop, and I have to rewash them again, and it was like,
Oh my God.
But she's like, oh, Lily, calm down, it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be all fine, yes, and stuff, because I'm in the middle of choir practice, but I'm saying, hey, we gotta make it to the time. So because of those dogs, I gotta tell you, I think I mastered time management great.